Representative Raul, I can't pronounce this guy's name out of no disrespect, but there's so many consonants, Grijalva. Do you know how to pronounce that? Grijalva. You have no idea, Rich. But Rich gives it the old college try. Anyway, he's a congressman from Arizona. He's a radical nutjob. A Democrat, you might say. And yesterday, hat tip Breitbart, he makes a veiled threat. Cut 9, go.
Many families and communities across this country will quell some of the unrest that we're seeing in our communities and the racial overtones that continue to build around this issue. The issue of immigration that for a while was sanitized. We just talked about immigration as a federal policy and a broken system that needed to be reformed. Jose, what has happened is that if more and more of the rhetoric it has the racial undertones and overtones, and in many parts of our community, for those people of color, and particularly Latinos that are fourth, fifth generation, they see this also as a civil rights issue in terms of who is being demeaned and demonized by the Steve Kings of the world on the air. And so the overtones continue to grow.
Stop. Who the hell do you think you're fooling, pal? The hell do you think you're fooling? First of all, ladies and gentlemen, and particularly my Latino friends out there, you know full well that this term Hispanic, or even when we talk about Latinos, we're talking about people who are Peruvian or Guatemalan, Salvadoran, Mexican. We're talking about people who are Cuban, who are Puerto Rican, Honduran. Yes, believe it or not, I have many friends who come from south of the border and are here legally. And they will tell you their identification is with America, but their ancestry is with that country and the culture in that country. They don't run around saying, I have a Hispanic culture. Nobody even knows what that means if they're from these countries. This member of Congress doesn't speak for all, quote-unquote, Latinos any more than I speak for all, quote-unquote, Caucasians or Jewish people. And neither does Luis Gutierrez, the self-appointed Martin Luther King of the Latinos. These guys get on TV. He was on MSLSD, of course, going on and on as if he represents fourth and fifth and sixth generation Latinos. He represents a congressional district. That's it. No more. And yet he claims to speak for millions and millions of people who are from south of the border, and he doesn't. And we allow political demagogues like this to put words in their mouths. We talked about this Pew survey earlier in the week, where a majority of Latinos oppose illegal immigration. Go on with this guy. Go.
Anxiety continues to grow. And I think administrative relief now will allow communities to have the kind of real dialogue in their communities away from the rhetoric. And I hope that the president can help a great deal with that.
So this guy is a race baiter. This guy is intimating that if we all don't buckle to big, centralized government and the Democrat Party and their race-based politics and pandering, that there could be violence. This is the new Democrat Party. The party of Raul What's-His-Face, the party of Al Sharpton, the party of Harry Reid. There it is, the new Democrat Party. And now I want to talk to you union members out there. Many of you belong to unions that are member unions of the AFL-CIO. I want to talk to you. Richard Trumka, that big fat slob, I say with all due respect, is selling you out. He's selling you out. Cut 10, go.
How confident are you that the president's going to use his executive action on immigration, deportation relief?
He's going to do something. I hope it's bold enough to be worthwhile. Here's the story that I relate to them. When I was president of mine workers...
Stop right there. This clown was president of the mine workers. Obama has targeted the mine workers. Obama's putting mine workers out of work. These are hardly millionaires and billionaires. There was a day when we respected men and women who worked with their hands and did things that most of us wouldn't do and went 500 feet or more underground, risking their life and their health. There was a day when this was the heart and soul of the Democrat Party. No longer. This man has represented the mine workers before he became the head of the AFL-CIO, selling them out to the EPA, selling them out to the radical left phony green movement, which is a red movement, selling out blue collars to white collars, left-wing white collars. He not only embraces the radical environmental movement, which is destroying mine worker jobs in this country, he's embracing the radical illegal alien movement in this country, which undermines the pay, the jobs of Americans, including union members, obviously. Now, I don't mind Americans competing for jobs all over the world and business all over the world legally. Legally. This is illegal. And what Richard Trumka seeks to do, because he's a patsy for Obama, a patsy for the left, a patsy for the Democrat Party, and I wish the day would come when union members would rise up and throw these bums out and reform their own unions. The fact of the matter is, if we don't secure the border with wave and wave and wave after legalizing illegal aliens, Americans are never going to get good-paying jobs at the lower end of the economic ladder and in the middle of the economic ladder. It just doesn't make economic sense. This isn't about protectionism. This is about law and order. Richard Trumka, the biggest sellout in the history of the union movement, or any other movement for that matter, president of the AFL-CIO, Christian Science Monitor breakfast yesterday. Hat tip Breitbart. Cut 10, go.
How confident are you that the president's going to use his executive action on immigration, deportation relief,
He's going to do something. I hope it's bold enough to be worthwhile. Here's the story that I relayed to them.
Yeah, tell us, Dick.
When I was president of mine workers, and I
Richard.
went to a convention, if I asked for a 50-cent dues increase or a $5 dues increase, I got the same amount of grief. Mm-hmm. I got the same hate letters, the same mean-spirited things. So why would I ask for 50 cents when I'm going to get the same grief if I ask for $5?
Stop. He's talking about his own members. And by the way, he wasn't a coal miner. He was a lawyer. So now, well, he's a mine worker? No, he wasn't. Look, if I ask for 50 cents or $5 increase in dues, what the hell? I get the same crap no matter what. So I'll ask for the $5. What kind of perverse thinking is that? I will screw my union members. Yeah. 50 cents? No, let's make it $5. He's getting to a point, slow, plodding, but he's getting to a point. Go.
So I always ask for $5. So I said, if you do, no matter what he does, the right wing is going to go bonkers and say he doesn't care about anything and he's not enforcing the law. But if he goes mild, he'll energize the right. But he won't energize the center and the left.
Oh, that's the whole
Unless
purpose.
he goes bold, then he'll again he'll energize the right the same amount, but he'll also energize the left. And that needs to happen in order for this election to elect enough people to be able to pass comprehensive immigration reform. Because the broken system is a major drag on our economy and a major drag on wages.
Now that's enough as he drones on. Anyway, so he's saying go bold, Obama. Go bold. Millions and millions. Make them legal. Millions. Keep the border open. Bring in more. Is that what you want, folks out there in the union movement? Is that what you want? And let me add a couple of other points. The Border Patrol, they're in a union. Most of the ICE employees are in a union. Local and state police officers, they're in unions too. Does this guy represent you? 50 cents, $5. Does he represent you? The hell does he represent? 50 years, half a century. This is what the union movement has turned into, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Trumka. He's not fighting for his members. Whatever you think of unions, whatever you think of the AFL-CIO, it's not my point. This guy is supporting Obama because Obama's a Democrat. That's all that matters. He's cutting his deals with Obama. He likes going to the White House. He likes eating 5-course meals at the Palm, wherever. That's why he weighs about 412 pounds and stands about 5 feet 8 inches tall with that walrus mustache on his face. There he is. Is this guy a vociferous energetic, intelligent leader of the union movement?
Listen, when I headed the miners' union, 50 cents, I said, well, what the hell? Take as much crap as $5.
So there you go. He sounds almost as much of an idiot as Tom Donahue, the head of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, a.k.a. crony capitalism. So you have this guy, Trumpka, then you have that guy, Tom Donahue, of the U.S. Chamber of Crony Capitalism, that doesn't give a crap about the Constitution or limited government. They're there at the public trough. No, give me mine. Subsidize, bail out, yes. This guy, Trumpka, I don't know what they promised him. Well, we'll be able to unionize all these people. No, you won't. You're just helping the Democrat Party get more voters. So they'll pass laws to help you. Meanwhile, you're selling out your current membership. Yes, that's what he's doing. Big labor, big corporations, and then guys like this guy from Arizona, the Democrat from Arizona, basically threatening violence as if he speaks for the entire Latino community, which, of course, he doesn't, any more than any of the other members of Congress speak for entire communities. And by the way, somebody running for the head of the Latino community? Is somebody running for the head of the black community? Is somebody running for the head of the European community? What's going on here? I'll tell you what's going on here. This race politics is out of control, and the Democrat Party cannot survive without it. It cannot survive without it. Because the Democrat Party, listen to me carefully, particularly you liberals and Democrats, the Democrat Party has abandoned its industrial working base. It's abandoned its blue-collar workers. Reagan realized that when he was running against Carter. Romney did not realize that when he was running against Obama. McCain did not realize that when he was running against Obama. If I hear any more of this crap, Romney, he can save us. Did you see his numbers in Iowa? Shut up. Guy had his chance. Whoa, the Romney juggernaut. Why, because his staff leaks to the newspaper? Romney couldn't even beat a lightweight like Obama, and Obama is a lightweight, was a lightweight. The Republicans have an enormous opportunity, but the problem is they don't have the proper leader. They've got John Boehner.
What time is it? 6:40 Eastern Time, p.m., government closed.
I'll have another. And McConnell talking to conservatives.
Well, if I have to shut down the government, that's what I'll do.
Talking to CNN.
I'm the guy that stopped the shutting down of the government.
There's your leaders. And that little doofus over there at the RNC, what's his name? Oh, Reince Priebus. Oh, yes, he identifies with the Colma. Reince what? Priebus. Oh, yes, man of the people. So the Republicans have an enormous opportunity here. They really do, if they stood for something. They could take so many of these blue-collar Democrats. This is why I think if you read Santorum's book, he's onto something. And some of these other Republican candidates or would-be candidates really ought to pick up on it. If you can win these blue-collar Democrats, or a lot of them, you're going to have a real fight for the Electoral College in some of these bluish states, like Pennsylvania. And there are arguments to be made, policies to be presented, that would encourage them, because this administration is destroying their jobs and destroying their industries. Look how West Virginia has gone from a dark blue Democrat state where no Republican or very few could get elected. Archie Moore was elected governor, but very few. To now it's becoming a reliably Republican state. We should be able to go into coal country in Ohio and Pennsylvania, obviously West Virginia, in Kentucky, in other parts of the country. We should be able to go to these steel mills now. And we represent the market system and the private sector and wealth creation and job creation, because clearly the Democrats don't anymore. But we don't, and apparently we won't. The fact of the matter is, just pure numbers now, the so-called white population represents 70% of the country. I'm not playing racial politics. I'm playing issue politics. But I'm dealing with what the left has done and what the Republicans are mimicking. You don't have to play pander politics. You don't have to destroy the country with an open southern border. You don't have to further create massive debt by pandering to this or that. Stand on your damn principles. Relate them to the current day and issues that affect people. Go after votes that we haven't traditionally gotten, but Reagan knew how to get. There's some votes we'll never get, but there's some votes out there for the taking. And this is what is really frustrating me when I hear Romney, Romney, Romney. Romney and his highly paid morons that he surrounded himself with were incapable and didn't even seek to identify with millions of Americans who had had enough of Obama but were not convinced to vote Republican. So they stayed home. They stayed home. And they'll stay home again if Romney's nominated, no matter how many Republicans think he's so wonderful.